Now, I apologize for the grim and kind of creepy intro in the beginning, but I thought it looked kind of cool. Today, we will be covering reincarnation. So, hypothetically, if every soul could have reincarnated into an animal or a human body or even a plant, what are the chances of becoming a human? And even more unlikely, what are the chances of being a human born in America? We're going to be covering reincarnation today. Now, reincarnation is not exactly a new concept, and as a matter of fact, there have been many theories and beliefs revolving around it already. Major religions that believe in reincarnation are mainly Asian religions, such as Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, and Sikhism. The entire theory is that after death, the soul is rebirthed into a new body. This can mean animals like pets or even another person. Theories like the egg, which I know is a weird name, also dive into what could happen after death. Now today we're going to be looking more into reincarnation in the Hinduism religion. So for Hindus, the quest for all humans is to find a way to reach an understanding of the Brahman, which is the ultimate reality, truth, or goodness. Essentially, humans have difficulty knowing and reaching an understanding of the Brahman because of Maya, which are negative influences that can impact one's understanding of the Brahman, such as physical matter or unwholesome mental factors. It is said that a person reaches union with the Brahman after going through the 4 stages of life: student, householder, retired, and spiritual pilgrim. However, not every person can go through all 4 in one lifetime. Take for instance, a farmer who is poor may never become a spiritual pilgrim, thus the farmer and his or her family will forever be tied to working on the land in their lifetime. The belief of reincarnation makes it possible for any individual, regardless of class, to achieve union with the Brahman. It is the belief that the soul of a person who had not achieved this final union will be reborn in another body again and again until the final union with the Brahman is achieved. They can be reborn as humans, or as animals, or even plants depending on their karma in their lifetime. Now, this leads to some questions. For example, does this mean there's an infinite number of souls, since animals like bees or ants are constantly reproducing, and the number is always going to increase? Well, yes and no. There are 2 different infinities, one absolute infinity and quantifiable infinity. Absolute infinity literally never ends, like a never-ending line. It is omnidimensional since it propagates into infinite different ways and directions. However, quantifiable infinity, or just known as regular infinity, does have an end. For example, a line is still the same length regardless of how you cut it. This concept can be applied to calculate the total number of souls, so while yes, there is technically an infinite number of souls, it is still numbered and quantifiable. We will now go into the actual math and statistics portion. So just to be clear, an animal by definition is a living organism that feeds on organic matter and typically has specialized sense organs. You can make the argument that unicellular organisms do count as living organisms too, but they're not really considered animals. Counting every single animal in the animal kingdom, there's an estimated of 2 million to 5 million different species of animals discovered as of right now. The numbers which I will be sharing today was gathered by finding the average number of a certain species in a certain area, and you can find somewhat a very rough calculation of the total amount of each type. Collectively, there are around 10 to the 11th power or 100 billion land vertebrates or organisms with a backbone at one given time. Of course, this number is always changing and probably decreasing since billions, if not trillions of animals die every year. Now there's around 10 trillion different wild marine vertebrates, and it's estimated that it might even be higher since the majority of the ocean is still unexplored. There's around 10 to the 18th power number of terrestrial and marine arthropods, which includes insects, crabs, and others, which is around 1 quintillion. So I finished editing and I came back and I came across another source that claims that the total number of arthropods are as high as 10 quintillion. So if my voice sounds a little bit different, is because I am a little bit sick right now, and the other recordings were done a few weeks ago. You might be curious on how this number was even calculated, so I'm going to use dust mites as an example. Now, dust mites come from humans. Each human carries around 100,000 to around 10 million dust mites. There's around the same number of dust mites per bed. 1.5 grams of skin, which is the average number of skin shed per day, can feed 1 million dust mites. Now we're going to answer the main question. How lucky are you to be reincarnated into, well, you, the person watching the video? The chances of reincarnating into a human, if you counted livestock like chicken, cattle, and others, would be 1 in 24 billion. Now going a little bit higher, if you were to reincarnate into all the birds in the world, it would be 1 in 50 billion. But to be honest, I wouldn't really mind if I were to reincarnate into something like a pigeon or a bald eagle. Now, the chances of reincarnating into a mammal would jump up significantly and would be 1 in 1 trillion, or 10 to the 12th power. Now, going even further, if you were to count the total number, say something like arthropods, like insects, your existence will be 1 in 1 quintillion. For insight, the chances of just reincarnating into a human, which is a collective population of a little over 8 billion since last year, would jump all the way down to 1 in 125 million. And this is just reincarnating into a human, not specifically, well, you. And if you were to count one by one the total number of all animals, there are around 2 to 3 quintillion different living organisms at once. So the chances of you becoming, well, you will be around 1 in 2.5 quintillion. Now, perspective, winning a lottery where you have to guess 6 numbers correctly is around 1 in 14 million. Now, imagine winning the lottery, but it's around 3 trillion times more unlikely. Now, finally, to be born into one of the richest countries in the world, America, it would literally be impossible with 10 to the power 21, which is 1 sextillion. Now, just to see, I want you to guess a number between 1 and 2. Now, there's probably a 50% chance that we guess the same number. Now, I want you to guess again. Again, probably half of you guys guessed correctly. Now, imagine we do this around 68 more times. You would have to guess correctly every single time, 70 times in total. So what is the message in the video? Well, it just means that you're very, very lucky. Now, there's another concept where it calculates the chances of your parents meeting, they giving birth to you, which alone is
400 trillion to 1. The odds of becoming a human being.
Now, if we were to multiply the probability of that occurring and also the probability of you just being reincarnated into you, it would be over 1 in 1 octillion, or 10 to the power of 27. Now, of course, this video is just a concept, but I really do hope that you did enjoy watching, since this video took a lot of research and time to calculate everything. But thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.